that's you stand by your decision then not to sign off on it?
Yes, sir.
You referred to a book promoted by FAA management as must read. And you said the bus had left the station. Not only was I not on the bus, I felt I was being thrown under the bus. What does that mean?
Well, there was a book that was promoted by FAA management on management techniques, and at that particular meeting on the 13th of September, I realized two things. That one, the supply was not the problem. I was the problem because I was not going to approve that software. And then I realized also that the bus had already left the station. And not only was I not on the bus, I felt I was being thrown under the bus. In other words, I was being overridden by management for technical decisions that I thought I was in a better position to make an assessment of.
You've had a lot of professional experience, and have you been overridden before in your field of expertise?
No, sir, I don't recall having been overridden before.
So Mr. Hayes' comment that, sometimes decisions have to be made, management decisions have to be made, people have to be moved, is irrelevant to this issue. Mr. Lauer, you testified that in March 2007 you made the decision to purchase professional liability insurance. I've never heard of anyone doing that within the FAA. Why did you feel that was necessary?
Principally because the project-specific certification plan I referenced in my oral summary, it limited our ability to inspect those airplanes. Certain portions of it, were off limits. Time-wise, we had roughly 12 hours to inspect those airplanes, no more. Bottom line is, if I'm not free to look at every part of the aircraft I need to, then I can't be confident that it truly conforms and is in a condition for safe operation. Yet I'm expected to sign and issue an airworthiness certificate for that aircraft. Forward thinking, if something were to happen down the road, NTSB comes knocking on my door, I just wasn't comfortable.
And you felt you needed some personal, professional protection?
Yes, sir.
In the form of insurance?
Yes, sir.
You also said when Eclipse presented to FAA the second aircraft for airworthiness certification, you found that inspectors had not inspected a number of critical areas and may have violated federal aviation regulations with apparently false statements on the forms. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, sir. The application form for airworthiness certificate contains a certifying statement above where the applicant signs. In essence, it says the airplane has been inspected, it conforms to its type certificate, and it's in a condition for safe operation.
Well, and earlier you said that when FAA inspectors told Eclipse something they weren't particularly happy about hearing, their answer was they can't live with it, the issue would be elevated to Washington. What do you mean about that?
Yes, sir. The inspectors began to hear that quite often. From the Eclipse, I suppose it's mid-management level people that were actually out on the floor overseeing, trying to get these aircraft processed. They wouldn't hesitate to pull that card. If the inspectors were asking to see too much, requiring too much, documenting too many things wrong.
And that was probably said with an intimidating tone, or with an implication that your judgment would be bypassed?
Yes, sir.
That's not a safety-compliant attitude, in my judgment.
No, sir. Like I said in my statement, I perceived there was heavy management pressure from Eclipse management to those people in the company to get those airplanes out the door.
And apparently a relationship at some other level with Washington FAA personnel.
I was never privy to what went on at higher levels, sir.
By Washington, you have to be in headquarters at FAA.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Well, Mr. Chairman, there are a number of these matters that we could pursue. I just want one more with Mr. DiPaolo. You said that you spoke to one of the certification engineers on September 29, 06, and you were told FAA was not going to sign off on the type certification of the Eclipse. Yet, on a Saturday, that sign-off occurred. How did that happen?
You're asking me to interpret what the FAA managers are trying to do, and the only thing I could think of again was the pressure that they self-perceived about trying to get this airplane approved by the end of the fiscal year, that somehow that was linked to their performance plans. There's also another document called the Partnership for Safety Plan that also tries to handcuff the engineers and force them to meet these time limits. These are documents that need to be reviewed by the committee and possibly removed from the FAA's policy. They're not mandatory documents. They should not have a role in when we certify an airplane.
It seems to me this process was driven by something other than safety within the FAA.
I agree with you, sir.
I'll continue to probe to get to the bottom of that. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.